Today on Sunday Morning Live, as British troops continue to die in Afghanistan and the withdrawal date is set, we ask, are our soldiers dying in vain? And do working mums make worse mums? Go to our website, bbc.co.uk/Sunday Morning Live, and you could be taking part in the debates live. Today on Week insisted that combat troops would be withdrawn from Afghanistan by 2015. But on the ground, it's been another grim month, with a British soldier dying on average every other day. In fact, the death rate for troops is now double what it was only last year. There's perhaps a growing sense that the war is simply unwinnable. Many, sure of why we went in, aren't so sure why we're still there. The question, are our soldiers dying in vain? Well, what do you think? Are our soldiers dying in vain in Afghanistan? We'd like to hear your views. For our text vote this morning, if you think they are, simply text the word VOTE followed by yes. If you disagree, text VOTE followed by no. The text number 81771. Texts charged at your standard message rate, and we will bring you the results at the end of the programme. For full terms and conditions, visit bbc.co.uk/Sunday Morning Live. Kim Howells, you're a former Foreign Office Minister.
I think if we withdraw without a victory...
Is from the Muslim Public Affairs Committee. Zulfi, we can...
For fascists who regard women as lower than camels.
Are fighting the Taliban, but do you think that they are fighting that and dying in vain? If you look at the achievements, I mean, I know that you agreed with some of what Zulfi was saying there, but if you look at the achievement, we have a form of democracy in Afghanistan.
No,
women...
I think the first thing to say is that, according to my profession...
All right, Vicky, thank you very much indeed for your point, and I'm terribly sorry, but because of technical problems, it's a little hard to hear and to see you. Debbie, I have heard you say that you had feared being in a wheelchair, you thought it would be unbearable, and now that you are in a wheelchair, it's not the unbearable state we fear, but that we can change our minds. But by changing the law, we might take away the option for some that they change their mind.
Somebody being suffering and not being able to eat.
Obviously a very difficult story for you, and a number of people on the phones have been calling us this morning and saying that relatives should have the right to help. And Jean has emailed us, as a disabled adult myself, when my quality of life is so diminished as to be unbearable for me, I want to be able to end my life. And Caroline said, it is selfish to end your own life. You only have one. Why just end it because you're ill and let your family suffer the consequences? Let God decide. Debbie, I think the last word should go to you.
The thing is, what
do in our text poll on Afghanistan this morning, are our soldiers dying in vain? If you think they are, text the word VOTE followed by yes. If you think their deaths are a price we have to pay in a war that is worth fighting, then text the word VOTE followed by no, and our text number is 81771. Texts will be charged at your standard message rate, and you have about 5 minutes before the poll closes. It is time now for our look back on the week, where my guest sees on some of the big moral issues which have caught their eye. And Erin, we've put so much emphasis and investment into sex education.
But that shouldn't be misinterpreted as the green light.
Out this week, and you've been voting in our text poll this morning. We've been asking, are our soldiers dying in vain in Afghanistan? That poll is closing now, so please do not text. Your vote will not count, but you could still be charged for it. We will bring you the result at the end of the programme. 3 decades ago, feminists said women could have it all, but many of those self-same campaigners have changed their tune. Experience, they say, has taught them it's just not possible to have a full-time career and be a good mother. Are they right? Is the idea of superwoman a fantasy? Is it a worrying truth that a working mum is somehow a worse mum? Women really have it all, or do our kids inevitably suffer? A question for the men too, of course. And Kim, you think, though, if you've got a webcam, go to our... If you take 7 hours maternity leave, does it make you a worse mum?
Means you didn't have it.
But I think Helen made the point, and I know she's joining us on our webcam now, is that she can take her baby with you, which of course a lot of working mothers aren't able to. Now, you're planning to have children, and are you planning to go back to work and try and combine the two?
I think I'll definitely go.
Small children, more likely to be aggressive. Do you think that the evidence is stacked against mothers who work?
Well, I wonder...
Sadly,
surely.
Because we've had a problem with the webcam. Ken, can you tell us where you come from? Do carry on. in
No,
2010?
I think society should
then
be
mum.
a shared responsibility between the family, really. So mums are doing really well and providing quality time for their children as well.
A couple of emails on this. Susie says we can't have a reasonable and informed debate on this subject until people start asking the right question. Do working parents make worse parents? Fathers are parents too, but their right to work is rarely questioned, and it heaps guilt onto mothers. Shah Miller from Essex says working mothers are not neglecting their children but setting good examples to them. And Simon Hudson's got in touch from Switzerland. Working mums obviously spend less time in direct contact with their own children, and they're not nurturing them as they should be. Claire Payne, you are from fulltimemums.org. Boring, and that it can make them worse mums, and that
How to work and looks after the
But
children.
you're talking about women who are dysfunctional. You're talking about dysfunctional families.
they're not dysfunctional.
Well, neither have ever worked.
But
But they're an
everybody makes
integral part of
arrangements
our
for
work.
this, don't they?
But arrangements aren't parenting.
Well, you're not.
And let's look at single
That's why I
mums.
mistrust.
obviously lots more to talk about. But you've been voting in our text poll this morning while we've been on air. We asked, are our soldiers dying in vain in Afghanistan? 86% of you who voted say yes, that's the case, and 14% say no, their sacrifice is in vain. Kim, your response?
It surprises me about how...
Let's leave it there. We're back next Sunday at the same time, 10 o'clock BBC One. Till then, have a great week. See you next Sunday. Bye-bye.